Hello from Hyderabad. The big focus in the fourth phase of elections here is on the 17 Lok Sabha seats of Telangana, 25 of Andhra Pradesh and the exciting, suspense-filled 175 assembly seats in Andhra Pradesh. I have with me Ravi Kant, senior journalist as a political analyst for us. I also have Srinivas, architect and citizen here, and Amit Prasad, and a young voter. She has just voted in the assembly elections and very excited to vote in the parliament elections as well. Just first a focus on Telangana. Less than 6 months ago we had assembly elections, and at that time KCR was the tallest figure, and now it would appear the outcome of this election may determine whether the BRS and KCR continue to be relevant in Telangana. How many seats does KCR need to get in order to be able to remain relevant? Because we are talking about not just the number of parliament seats, but that could also impact whether many of his MLAs go away.
I think six is a good number for him if he gets. 6 is also his lucky number. So maybe if he gets 6, I think this party will definitely survive. Given KCR's capabilities as a politician and the charisma he carries in Telangana, I think.
Revanth Reddy says that this is a kind of a referendum on my 100 to 150 days. That is very odd, of course, because for a parliament election you don't talk about that. But how much does he need to get to be safe?
More than 8. To be safe as a chief minister, and also to be very strong as a Congress chief minister. If he gets 10, then he's going to be very strong.
What I must ask you is the kind of discourse that you are seeing. Whether it is Mr. Revanth, I asked him about his language as well. He says no, the patent for that kind of language belongs to KCR. But what message does it send to the public?
I think the message it sends out is that the politicians in general are taking people for granted is what I feel. They should be more responsible towards people, not just during the election time, but coming all the 5 years when they rule. They have to understand that people, right now across the political spectrum, if you look at it, most of the parties are offering certain kind of incentives, which is literally kind of buying your vote. I think political parties should offer a vision, offer a more sustainable way of looking at nation's development, where you can maybe focus more on health, education, where people become capable of earning their own livelihoods. And that is what I think the real development agenda for each political party should be, rather than, just offering freebies.
Do you feel when we talk about issues, are they coming out at all in elections? Because as citizens, we worry about everyday issues and about, yes, of course, the development of the country as well.
Not at all. I think a lot of good has happened in the last 10 years, whether at the state level or at the central level. You're talking about irrigation, talk about local development. For the common man, there are a lot of benefits that have happened. For example, I can self-attest my documents. I don't need to worry about Lal Batti stopping me all the time. And even at the business level, we see that GSTPF processes are good. So all these good things have happened both at the center and the state level. And if the politicians could ask for votes in that name, both at the state and the center, that would feel good. But why is it not so? Maybe we as voters have to be blamed. Are we getting carried away by some other topics? That seems to be a cause for concern, and therefore these lies and all these claims which are happening don't seem to be the right way to go, even for the people we voted.
Young voter, first time parliament elections you're going to be voting in.
Yes.
Is the kind of political discourse that's happening giving you what issues we need to talk about? Are you happy with the way political parties are pitching themselves?
I don't think so. I think it's very disturbing that we are taking such sensitive matters and putting up mockery of sorts for just getting elections or votes. I think it's extremely important to focus on more global issues, not only in our country but throughout the globe. India is doing extremely well. This is a time period where we are glowing, like we say, the golden dove is back in action or whatever. So I think it's such a good time to get back to agendas, to discuss agendas, not discuss political motives and anything else, discuss agendas, work on the development of our country, help us prosper. As a first time voter, it's extremely important for us to realize the power of each and every vote and vote accordingly, and I think I'm super duper excited.
Not cynical, very excited about it. But we can't wrap up this discussion without talking about Andhra Pradesh, where of course it's regional parties that are occupying the mind space, not the BJP, not the Congress, which otherwise is dominating the narrative towards the country. Is it time where regional parties are actually going to be ceding space to national parties, especially in the south of the country? Actually you have many more regional players.
It's very difficult in south of India, particularly in Andhra Pradesh, because TDP and YSRCP are strong parties. Janasena, Pawan Kalyan has a personal appeal. He can survive as a politician, maybe his party may not survive if he doesn't get any seat, but he as a politician will definitely survive. So given that kind of space, where will BJP come? The only thing is, either Jagan has to be decimated. If Jagan has to be decimated, maybe perhaps BJP will come. Or otherwise TDP has to be
Strange
decimated.
place
But-
where whoever is going to win survives, whoever loses will have actually a battle for survival, isn't it? Because it's not just a political challenge but a legal challenge as well to continue, because it's been that kind of vengeful politics.
I think Jagan has an advantage given his age, so he can lose this year, wait for 5 years, 10 years. But it's very crucial for Naidu. He has to come at this time if he really wants to strengthen his party again, and he can leave a mark. So I would say that TDP has a big challenge compared to Jagan. If Mr. Naidu loses, then the second structure, the second
And then
rank
if BJP
leadership.
gets its way in, perhaps politically, am I speaking, there's a space there. But before we wrap up, 10 years since bifurcation on the 2nd of June, and the capital still not there for the new state. Just your report card for you also come originally from Andhra Pradesh.
That's right.
So without a capital, is that a big issue in the sentiment mind of the people?
Yeah, it is a issue if you look at it at a very practical level in order to attract the attention of people from across the world. Because that's one symbol of which prosperity, which you can say, yes, my state is ready for investment. But keeping that part aside, I think the overall development of the state is equally important, as much important as development of the capital. So I guess both are equally important issues to deal with.
So welfare, development, all that is the argument in, it's almost pitched as though welfare and development are two different things, and one represents one or the other, which perhaps is not the true picture. But when you see an Andhra Pradesh 10 years after bifurcation, what's your report card? Telangana, of course, started with an advantage with its Hyderabad, but politically now.
Uma, you'll remember the day it was announced. We were here at the same point and we talked about the importance of 50 states. So I think it's been proven. Telangana as a smaller state has really given benefits to us as citizens. It has progressed well. On the other hand, if Andhra has not progressed as fast, I think they are themselves to blame because the politicians had to do it better. But Telangana has done well, has benefited, and I'm very happy that 10-year-old story of 50 states is true. I hope we'll have 50 states in India very soon.
Okay, that's a viewpoint certainly. That's a Telangana assembly behind, and Andhra Pradesh certainly hoping to not just have a new capital. Of course, if YSRCP were to win, it would be Vizag, otherwise it will be Amravati. That's what Union Home Minister Amit Shah has said too. But anyways, exciting day ahead for all the voters in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Huge exodus in fact from Hyderabad going into Andhra Pradesh so that they can exercise their vote. Lots of people in fact coming into Hyderabad and in Telangana as well to ensure that they vote. Hyderabad vote percentage has been very poor, less than 48%. Hopefully that will improve as well. Back to you in Delhi.